Hi dear student for second intermediate. That is your book part 2 of mathematics to second intermediate. Chapter 5 Geometry and Measurement. Lesson 1 Relationship of angles and straight lines theorems. Learn. If the nearby figure line 1 parallel to line 2, that is line 1 parallel to line 2, and line 3 is the two parallel lines were intersected in A and B. That is line 3 is intersected line A and line 1 and line 2 in A and in B. Line 3 intersected line 1 and line 2 in A and B. Line 1 and line 2 is parallel. Look at number 1. The two angles, measure angle 1 and measure angle 2, are named corresponding angles and they are congruent, equal in measure. Corresponding angle متناظرتان. That is measure angle 1, angle 2 is corresponding. That is mean same the measure, equal in measure because congruent angle 1 and angle 2 is corresponding. Number 2, the two angles, angle 2 and angle 3, are named alternate angles and they are congruent, equal in measure. That is angle 2 and angle 3 is named alternate angle. Alternate angle متبادلتان. Alternate angle 2 and angle 3, same the measure, equal in measure. Number 3, the two angles, angle 2 and angle 4, are named supplementary interior angles and the sum of the two angles is 180 degrees. That is angle 2 and that is angle 4 is named supplementary interior angles. زاويتان متكاملتان داخليتان. Measure angle 4, measure angle 2 in supplementary interior angles and the sum between this measure and this angle is 180 degrees. Now, the two vertical angles. What's the two vertical angles? Each two vertical angles are equal in measure. Look at measure angle 1 equal measure angle 2. That is angle 1 is equal to angle 2 because vertical angles. Each two vertical angles are equal in measure. And also angle 3 equal to angle 4. Why? Because two vertical angles is equal in measure. Measure angle 2 equal measure angle 4. Measure angle 1 equal measure angle 2 because two vertical angles. Each two vertical angles are equal in measure. Now, converse of corresponding angles theorem. If a line intersected two lines in the same plane, forming two corresponding angles having the same measurement, then the two lines are parallel. Then, if measure angle 1 equal measure angle 2 corresponding angles, then line 1 parallel line 2. He give me measure angle 1 equal measure angle 2. Same the measure. Then that is mean line 1 equal line 2. That is converse of corresponding angles theorem. And converse of alternate angles theorem. Also, if a line intersected two lines in the same plane, forming two alternate angles having the same measurement, then the two lines are parallel. If measure angle 1 equal measure angle 2 alternate, then line 1 parallel to line 2, that is angle 1 equal to angle 2. Measure angle 1 equal measure angle 2 because alternate, that is mean line 1 parallel to line 2. Line 1 parallel to line 2. That is converse of alternate angles theorem. Converse of internal angles theorem. If a line intersected two lines in the same plane, forming two supplementary internal angles at the same side of the crossing, then the two lines are parallel. That is mean if measure angle 1 plus measure angle 2 equal 128 internal, that is mean then line 1 parallel to line 2. Look at that is line 1, line 2, measure angle 1 plus measure angle 2 equal 180 degrees. That is internal angles at the same side of the crossing. That is a crossing, same side, that same side. Sum of two angles 128, that is mean the line 1 parallel to line 2. Now go to example 1. Use the given information in nearby figure. If measure angle 1 equal measure angle 2, then show that line L parallel line M. Look at that is line L, that is line M, that is angle 1 and angle 2, that is angle 3. He give me measure angle 1 equal measure angle 2. He won't prove that, he won't show that line L parallel line M. Measure angle 1 equal measure angle 2, that is given in the question. Then measure angle 2 equal measure angle 3. Measure angle 2 equal measure angle 3. Why? Because the two vertical angles. Any two vertical angles that is equal in measure. Measure angle 2 equal measure angle 3 because two vertical angles. Then that is mean measure angle 1 equal measure angle 3. Why? If two quantities equal one quantity, then the both of them are equal. Measure angle 1 equal measure angle 2, measure angle 2 equal measure angle 3. That is mean measure angle 1 equal measure angle 3. If two quantities equal one quantity, then the both of them are equal. That is mean measure angle 1 and measure angle 3. Two corresponding angles. Look at measure angle 1, measure angle 3, two corresponding angle and the same the measure. That is mean the line L parallel to line M. Other example. Examples: use the given information in nearby figure and show that line L parallel to line M. That is figure, that is line L, that is line M. He want show that, prove that line L parallel to line M. Look, this angle 30 degrees. 30 degrees. This angle 150 degrees. This angle 1. This angle 2. He wants to show that line L parallel to line M. Look at measure angle 1 equal 30 degree. Yes, measure angle 1 equal 30 degree. Why? Because two vertical angles. And the same, measure angle 2 equal 150 degrees. This measure angle 2 equal 150 degrees. By the same the reason, two vertical angles. Two vertical angles. Then the two angles 1 and 2 are internal and at the same side of the crossing, and their sum 180 degree. Look at measure angle 1 30 degree and measure angle 2 150. The sum of internal angles of the same side of the crossing is the 180 degrees. 180 degrees. That is mean line L parallel to line M. Example: use the given information in nearby figure since measure angle 1 equal measure angle 3. K parallel to V. Line K parallel to line V. Show that line L parallel to line M. That is figure measure angle 1 equal measure angle 3 parallel line L parallel to line V. What he want? He want show that line L parallel to line M. Look at measure angle 1 equal measure angle 3. That is given. Measure angle 1 equal measure angle 2. Measure angle 1 equal measure angle 2. Why? Because corresponding because the line is parallel to line K parallel to line V. That is mean one angle equal to angle 2 because corresponding to corresponding angles. Measure angle 2 equal measure angle 3. Measure angle 2 equal measure angle 3 because if two quantities equal one quantity, then the both of them are equal. Measure angle 1 equal measure angle 3. Measure angle 3 equal measure angle. That is mean measure angle 2 equal measure angle 3. If two quantities equal one quantity, then the both of them are equal. Angle 3 and angle 2, that is angle 3 and angle 2, that is two alternate angles. Angle 2 and angle 3, two alternate angle. Then the line L parallel to line M, that is by converse of two alternate angles. If two alternate angles same the measure, that is mean the line L parallel to line M. Make sure of your understanding. Use the given information and converse the theorems to show the following. If measure angle 1 equal measure angle 2, then line M parallel to line L. Look at that is figure. Line angle 1 equal to angle 2. He want to prove that, show that line L parallel to line M. Measure angle 1 equal measure angle 2. Why? Because given, that's any question. Then measure angle 1 equal measure angle 3. Measure angle 1 equal measure angle 3. Why, student? Yes, good, because two vertical angles. Two vertical angles. Now measure angle 2 equal measure angle 3. Why? Because if two quantities equal one quantity, then the both of them are equal. Look at measure angle 1 equal measure angle 2. Measure angle 1 equal measure angle 3. That is mean measure angle 2 equal measure angle 3. Measure angle 2 equal measure angle 3. But measure angle 3 and measure angle 3 and measure angle 2 are what? Corresponding angles, and the same the measure. The two corresponding angles and the same the measure and equal, that is mean then line M parallel to line L. A question. If x equal 15a, a equal 4, then M parallel to L. Look at, that is x, that is angle 120 degrees, that is line L, line M. He won't show that line L parallel to line M. Look at, I substitute a in the replace a equal 4, replace a. Then x equal 15 times 4. 15 times 4, what? 60 degree. 60 degree. Then x equal 60 degree. 60 degree plus 120 degrees, what equal? Equal 128. 120 plus 60 degrees equal 180 degrees. That is mean are internal and at the same side of a crossing, and their sum is 180 degrees. That is mean then line M parallel to line L. A question from the solve of the problems. Question 7. Parking. An engineer wants to design a car parking in a parallel shape. Use the given and convert the theorems to show that line M parallel to line L, since measure angle 1 equal measure angle 2 and line M parallel to line H. Look at, that is parking, that is parking of cars. measure angle 1, measure angle 1, measure angle 1 equal measure angle 2, and line M parallel to line H. What he want show that line M parallel to line L. Look at measure angle line M parallel to line H. Line M parallel to line H. That is given. That is mean measure angle 1 equal measure angle 3. M line to H parallel to H, that is mean measure angle 1 equal measure angle 3. Why? Because two corresponding angles. Yes, and measure angle 1 equal measure angle 2. Measure angle 1 equal measure angle 2. That is given. Then measure angle 3 equal measure angle 2. Why? Because if two quantities equal one quantity, then the both of them are equal. Look at measure angle 1 equal measure angle 3. Measure angle 1 equal measure angle 2. That is mean measure angle 2 equal measure angle 3. Measure angle 2 equal measure angle 3. But measure angle 3 and measure angle 1, that is two corresponding angles and the same the measure, equal the measure. That is mean line M parallel to line L. Question from Think. Question 9. Challenge. In the figure H parallel line H parallel line L. Measure angle 1 equal measure angle 2. Prove that line M parallel line H. Look at the figure. Line H parallel to line L. Measure angle 1 equal measure angle 2. What he want? He want to prove that measure angle M parallel to line L. He want to prove that measure angle M parallel to line L. Line H parallel to line L. That is mean measure angle 1 equal 40. Measure angle H parallel to line L. That is mean measure angle 1 is 40. Why? Because two corresponding angles, this angles and this angles corresponding, as that is mean also 40 degrees. And also measure angle 1 equal measure angle 2. That is from a question that is given from question. Then measure angle 2 also equal 40 degrees. Measure angle 2 also equal 40 degrees. 40 degrees plus 140 degrees, what equal? Equal 180 degrees. That is mean are internal and at the same side of a crossing, and their sum 180 degrees. That is converse of the internal angles. That is mean the measure angle 1 parallel to line measure line M parallel to line L. Multiple choice. Choose the correct answer for each of the following. Relationship between two angles 2 and 3 in the nearby figure. That is measure angle 2 and measure angle 3. That is line parallel to that is line. Measure angle 2, measure angle 3. What is two adjacent angles? Is two alternated angles, or two vertical angles, or two corresponding angles? Angle 3 and angle 2. Yes, good. Two alternated angles. زاويتان متبادلتان.